Man, you're one of the best coaches in this league. You know, we've said it before on this show. We say it all the time as far as in-game adjustments. Just talk a little bit about, your philosophy around in-game adjustments. And then when did you notice, like, hey, bro, I'm kind of nice at this coaching thing? When did that hit?
Man, well, it started back, like I said, Doc and Danny Ainge, gave me my first opportunity. And it started when I played for Doc in 2003 in Orlando. And he told me, he said, listen, T. Lue, when you're done playing, you can come coach. I was like, man, I ain't coaching. You crazy? Like, hey, coaching wasn't in me, but when
Yeah.
I finished in 2009, like, that's all I knew. And so I give a lot of credit to Doc because, like, when we lost a tough game or a hard game, how I used to go back and sit in the back of the room when he did media and just listen to how he handled himself and how he handled the media. Just all the ATOs at the timeouts. Like Doc was, the best, in my opinion, back in Boston, just running ATOs. And I was able to learn from Thibodeau, in Boston. Then I learned from Lawrence Frank, And so I had a lot of guys that I could learn from. You taking like, Doc back then was the best coach in the league, So
Yep.
you learning from Doc. You learn from Thibodeau, was the best defensive coordinator
Yep.
in the league. You learn from Lawrence, and so I had a lot of guys that I learned from, and so I give them a lot of respect, for me being where I'm at today. But it's hard, it's hard, BD. It's a
Yeah.
hard job, as a player, you just kind of basically worry about yourself. As a coach, you got to worry about everybody, the assistants, the medical, the equipment managers, the players. And so when you lose a game, you got to go back and look yourself and be like, man, what could I have done different? What could I have done better?
Right.
And like it was a tough grind, but I learned a lot along the way to be in this position and putting a lot of hard work to be in this position. There's a lot of great coaches out there, and so just to be mentioned, in the same breath with a lot of these guys, it means a lot. Especially being a young coach.
You said something that I actually wanted to address anyway. You just said it. You said LeBron get a lot of guys paid. He got me paid. And I want to ask you about that because coming in, obviously, you take over a team, you go on to win a championship. And a lot of people knew you were great in what you brought in that situation that even the coach that, you were assistant under couldn't bring. And everybody just knew like there was a specific thing that was going to be needed. Nobody felt that he had it. No disrespect to him, but everybody felt you had it. And saying that, you come in, you take over a team, obviously Bron's playing, and Bron is always going to get much deserved credit that he gets.
Yeah.
But you said Bron get a lot of guys paid. He got me paid. A lot of people tried to say that initially, like, oh man, he was coaching Bron. Of course he gonna come in and win a championship, as if that's just a given. You then started to be known as, and rightfully so, as one of the best coaches in the league, period. How was it for you to kind of break that tag of, yo, he's LeBron's coach? Because, everybody always try to make it a stigma of like, oh, he's LeBron's this, he's LeBron's that. He coached Bron, so that's why he won a championship. So much so that even then the Los Angeles Lakers want to give you a contract that aligns with LeBron's contract. How was it for you to break that stigma of Bron and knowing how great you were, or how great you are, but how great you were as a coach?
I mean, the outside noise really didn't bother me because I don't have social media and I don't really get into all that. Everybody has their opinions. But he really helped me. But the biggest thing for me is I sat down with him, Kyrie, and K Love, and I told him this is what I need from you guys. Like, if y'all want to win, if we want to win, this is what I need. And I give those three guys a lot of credit. But when people say that, Bron's been in the league, 21 years? He ain't won championships. So I mean, they act like he won 21 championships. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? He's won 4
Mhm.
championships. And so he hasn't won every year. And sometimes it takes, a special person or a special situation to get to that point. But like I said, Bron deserves all the credit. But what fulfilled me was when he came to me and said that, I was a great coach and, one of the best coaches he's ever played for. And so that enough right there meant a lot to me. And so I think, once he went to the Lakers. Then I had a chance. I go to the Clippers, I think, and coach that team. We go to the conference finals when Kawhi gets hurt. And I think that's when I finally got my respect. Once my first year with the Clippers, we go to the conference finals, and I was able to get out from under LeBron's umbrella, but it shouldn't be like that, like you said. And I know that he's brought a lot to me, as a coach, made me better because he's so high on execution, doing things the right way. And you got a guy who's the best player in the world that had never been late. Like he's the first one, shoot around, practice, leave. And then, a lot of times you have guys who of his stature come to the bus 10 minutes late, they're playing 20 minutes. Man's never late. Never.
Yeah.
Like respect everybody's time, respect everybody, what they're doing. And like I said, without him, like I said, I wouldn't be who I am today because he made you better. Because when I come in and present, a scout report of how we want to do something, I know that he's not going to miss a beat. And I know I got to be sharp in what I'm doing every single day, every single night, because he doesn't miss a beat, and so he's made me better for sure. So I'm always going to give him the credit because like he's made me better at who I am. And so hopefully one day he can say, you know what, Ty Lue was one of the guys that got me over the top when I got back to Cleveland, and so, I give, like I said, all the credit to him. Like I said, Kyrie, K-Love, be able to sacrifice, because you got to think, K-Love came from Minnesota where he was the man.
Getting 20 and 20, 30 and 20. Yeah.
30s and 20s. Yeah.
Ask K-Love, like, hey man, could, be in a third option, but I'm gonna feature you when you're on the floor, out of timeouts, different situations. And for him to buy in like that and to win a championship, like it just says a lot about them and who they are too. But I give, like I said, all the credit to Bron, but for making me a better coach, every step of the way.
No, I think that's dope, and I respect it because, again, to have the influence, to have the impact that Bron has, obviously, it's a great platform. But then you have to be capable of living it like on that platform. Like you can't, because if you're not capable, you get swallowed up fast in anything that he's involved in. And it was like the same thing with Rich. I think the same thing with Mav, where all the guys that has grown with him in a certain aspect, it's like, oh, they're only this because of him. But it's like, nah, A, there were some people along the way that weren't able to take advantage of that opportunity, right? B, they don't get to the situation without being special anyway, and when Rich first started Clutch, it's like, he's LeBron's agent, like, he's only, and it's like, no, I've actually built the best sports agency in the business, and to see you kind of break that same stigma in your own way.
Yeah. Like Rich, like you said, what he's built, what Mav is built, what I've continued to go on and build, but it's all, like I said, it stems from LeBron. But just because I give you $1 million and tell you to invest it, that don't mean you're gonna make the right investments. You know what I mean? Like I could be broke in 2 years, or I can have 10 million in 2 years. So like, what you do with it, and that's what I say about LeBron, because when they fired Coach Black, they could have went with anybody, and Bron had the confidence in me, to say, you know what, no, I like Ty Lue, and so
that's
says
big,
a lot.
yo. That's big.
That says a lot.
That's huge.
For a coach, 38 years old to, step in there and, fill some big shoes. Because like I said, Coach Black went to the NBA Finals the year before.
Yep.
And when I took over halfway through the season, we were the number one team in the East. That was a lot that came with it too, so but like I said, for those guys that had a belief in me to do it, it says a lot. So I'm happy about that.